programmers, we have seen that we can create programs with what we would call primitive data types, built-in types that are already available in C, called like char, int, float, double, long. We've seen a lot of those. We've even seen how you can create arrays by using the square brackets and the size of the array in parentheses. And in C, if you want to have a string, the way you do that is to create an array of characters. Well, these are the primitive data types, but C is an extensible language, meaning you can create your own data types that are a combination of these primitive data types. So for instance, if you're getting ready to celebrate a birthday and you want to write a C program to go along with your birthday, then you might want a data type for a birthday cake. Well, how would you do that? One way would be to say, well, the flavor of the icing might be something that's important to keep track of in your birthday cake, and that would be maybe an array of characters. You would say the cake flavor. Well, that might be something you want to keep track of, and you could decide, maybe the cake flavor is going to take up less than 20 characters. And let's say I also want to keep track of the number of layers of cake. So I've got 3 data types, but that's 3 different things to keep track of. What I really am looking for is one new data type to represent a cake. So you can do that in C using structures. You say struct, and then the name of the new data type. So instead of an int or a char or a float, it's going to be a structure cake. And the cake is made up of the layers, the cake flavor, and the icing flavor. And then you'll do an ending curly brace, and you need a semicolon at the end of that. So this right here creates a brand new data type for representing cakes in your C program. You can put this below main or above main. An even better place to put it would be in a header file. Then you could reuse it in more than one program easily. But for today's lecture, let's just put it inside of main. So now that we've got that birthday cake structure, or that cake structure, we can use it to create a variable called birthday cake. Now this data type it's not int or char, it's a structure cake. That's the data type, both of those together, and the variable name is birthday cake. And how would we populate the different fields or the different properties of a birthday cake? Well, we'll do the name of the variable and then a dot and then the name of the property, the part of that cake that we want to populate. Let's say I want 3 layers on my birthday cake, and then the cake flavor, let's say we want that to be chocolate. And what about the icing flavor? I'll do flavor of icing. We'll say maybe caramel. And as I'm typing this, I'm realizing that with arrays of characters, you can't just do in a simple assignment statement. You need to do a string copy and copy that word chocolate into the cake flavor, and you copy the caramel into the icing flavor. And then, so these 3 lines right here would populate everything about that birthday cake, and you might also want to print out the birthday cake. So I could say this many layers, and it's this kind of cake with this kind of icing, and I can plug in the different fields from that birthday cake. So layers, and then there's a birthday cake, cake flavor, and I would also like to print the icing flavor. Alright, so that's a lot of coding. Let's see if it actually runs. And it does. I can print that I've got a 3 layers chocolate cake with caramel icing, and I can reuse this structure to create a different kind of cake if I want. So I have a birthday cake. What about, let's say, I don't know, it's almost St. Patrick's Day, so St. Patrick's Day cake. We could create a cake for Christmas. Any kind of cake we want to, even a cupcake. And this is allocating, each of these lines will allocate enough memory for an array of characters of size 20 for the cake flavor and size 20 for the icing flavor, and an integer for the layers. So that is an example of creating a structure.